Hey, how y'all doing, man? We're back on Joey's podcast. I got RAMBOTHEDON333 with me. What's up, Rambo?
Hey, yo, what's up, man? We're right here at Joey's podcast, man. We just right here chilling. What we talking about today, Joey?
All right, man. So today we're gonna talk about copper. We're gonna talk about copper, its benefits, what it does. We're just gonna spread some knowledge. So, what do you know about copper, Rambo?
Hey, copper is a conductor of energy. We really have copper in us. A lot of copper got to do um with ground with basically copper is a conductor of energy. And copper is in our body. Um, a lot the melanated people and yes, like some people we have more copper than others, but copper is a conductor of energy, and but no matter what, we're all creations of God. It's not about race, but we're all creations of God, and we basically we filter. We need copper, we need copper in ourselves. Gotta filter it, right? Filtration. So people who don't have copper in their body, you need to have more copper. Like you need one of the main deficiencies in the world is copper. But like people need to eat more copper. Like drink, like start putting your water like electrified on copper. Like purified on copper. Start wearing bracelets. Like me personally, I wear my bracelets. I know that around like around my day, I'm fixing to go touching stuff. And this stuff like my phone and electronics, TV, car, they carry energies. Energies, and copper's a conductor of energy, and it also purifies it. So every time when I wake up, I always put my copper on. My copper on so I could go out around my day, so it won't affect me. It also helps with like the 5G.
All right, so copper. What do you think? What do you think copper does? It's a mineral. What do you think it does for us? What do you think is the point of copper?
It gets you stronger. It gets you stronger. It gives you energy. Like once you start realizing, right, that you got copper in you, that you need that copper, man. It's everything, right? Like me, whenever I put my bracelets on, I feel more energy in my hands. Like I feel this little energy. Like it helps with the pain. Like if you got muscle pain and cramps and stuff, like it starts arthritis. It helps with arthritis. And also I got like my copper bracelet for my ankles and stuff. I put them on too. Yeah, copper been on Earth for a long time. A lot of civilizations used to use it, like the Egyptians. Egyptians used to use some copper. Uh, uh, it's just
Yeah, yeah. Copper's been around. All the Indian people have copper cookware. They got copper cups.
yeah.
Why do you think that? Why do you think they have all that?
Because back in the day, we was not asleep. Like our great grandparents, our grandmas. They used copper pans, because they knew about it, bro. And like as generations went by, a lot of this media and TV, put us to sleep, right? They put us to sleep in a way of sort like sense that they started like putting other materials and other like copperware stuff, on pans and stuff like they just changed it, and a lot of this is just plastic, chemicals affecting us. Like where we cooking, our pans, where we cooking is like plastic, man, and it got
Yeah,
chemicals on it. So
it's Teflon, ceramic. That's all plastic.
that's all plastic. So yeah, copper is different. Copper is the conductor of energy. So if you cook food and copper, you're gonna get all the benefits of that good energy. You know?
Hey, so copper's like a filter. It filters energy, right?
Yeah, it filters energy. It filters energy.
So
You sta- you could you put stability into energy. Like if it's not clean energy, you put a stability into it. Copper got to do with like they also use copper for harvesting. You know, like you never heard about copper harvesting, like where like if they put like like copper on the plants, you know, it's like a little antenna, a spiral, kind of like this right here. It just cleans the area, the energy, and it gives energy to that source, and it's guaranteed to give the plants or the tree like a 60% more of growth and productivity, like fruits and stuff. Like if it's gardening, like just do your research, Google it, like copper gardening and stuff like that, and it helps you. Like it tells you that copper is like one of the healthiest way to do farming, and it grows. It helps the growth. It helps the productivity. We just fell asleep. Like a lot of the main things, like the main corporations just took it down, right? You just gotta know. Do your research, man. The truth is out there. The articles are out there. I mean, it might just be fake. Who knows? It's just articles. Just conspiracy theories and entertainment purpose only. That's how it
now
is.
I think it's real because it's a mineral. It's a
It's
mineral.
a
It's a
mineral,
natural mineral.
but that's why I give them the doubt, like I give them the benefit of the doubt to go do their research so they can see what we're talking about, and they can start waking up, because a lot of these people are going to think we just retards, right?
Hey, so copper. So, do you think the copper can help like filter the air or just energy?
It filters energy. And if you filter energy, I guess you can filter the air. But there's a lot of copper, they're like copper antennas. They're like EMF and stabilize. They stay like a little Rambo here, fired up and hyped up on the trains. But
Got
okay,
that
yeah,
energy.
on that energy, that good energy. Look, that good energy. Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. So a lot of this. I'm gonna tell you how copper helps. Okay, there's a lot of spray on things on the air that they spray like chemtrails. So there's this copper antennas. A lot of people are using, and they're waking up to it. And these copper antennas are like uh 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 they're they're like cloud busters. Like they bust the clouds, man. Like they disintegrate any like any chemicals that are spraying on the air with these antennas. You just evaporize that. Like they don't even hit the ground. And coppers, I mean, are people waking up to it? A lot of people already awake. And yeah, copper's that, bro. Copper's everything. You need copper in your body. There's foods you can eat for copper. Me, well, I really try to start going vegan. I'm not perfect. I still eat beef, but I still eat more like energy foods, but I'm working on it. I'm not perfect, but yeah, beef liver contains a lot of copper. Beef liver,
Oh, I kind of ain't never knew that.
yeah.
Hey, so what was I gonna say? So so do you think like we have copper levels? Like humans have copper levels in their bodies?
Well, a study in around the world. I don't remember which university, but it just, yeah, one of the main things in humanity and in the world is copper deficiency. And yes, we do need it. Yes, we do have copper in us.
Okay, so all right, so why do you think they put copper in our houses? You think just because it's cheap?
They put copper in our houses because it's a conductor of energy, you
Oh
know,
yeah, that makes sense.
and it's a conductor of energy, conducts energy. And you gotta ground stuff, you gotta ground your stuff to your energy. It got to do with a lot, bro. That's why copper copper's really good to have around. There's even a movie about that. I don't remember the movie, but this movie was about this guy that he was using nanotechnology, and like at the end of the movie, just where like his little garden had copper, he was still there alive, like the nanotechnology, like the AI inside the water because the magnetic pulse bomb destroyed everything but except those nanoparticles on that water because the copper was protecting it. And it's like
Hey,
like I tell you, bro, like movies and games tell us the truth, and we just like sleep to it because we think it's movies and games, like they tell us a lot, bro. It's movies, bro. They tells us about this. Like uh like bro, there's movies like the Avatar movie, and like they're conductors of energy, bro, like ground people and stuff like that.
hey, so like
Fire
me,
people, air people, or
yeah, like
uh,
me, I'm Hispanic and I'm dark. Do you think that's because I have copper inside of me?
yes, I mean because you come from the black Indians, Aztecs, are like Mexican heritage, right? Like Mexica, like Mexica, Mexico. It has to do with a lot, bro. If you really know your knowledge, is that I call it the three M's, right? Mexica, Mexico, Messiah. You know, we're like we have pyramids. Just know that, but pyramids were everywhere. But we're just part of the source of energy, bro. You know, just like the Egyptians, like the Africans, they had pyramids too, and they were the like they were just like the Mexicans. Uh,
And
and and
and
the
they're dark
Indians
too,
too.
right?
Yeah, the Indians too. The Indians in America, they had they had parts of New Mexico and parts of Arizona, and just they knew what they were doing, bro. They knew about copper, they knew about minerals, they knew about stuff, but they don't tell us that in the history books, or in school. They're not gonna teach you in school that copper's a conductor of energy, like, and you could purify stuff. You could
So
literally go into your meter and do a eight, 8 by 8 inch diameter circle and just put it around your meter. You're not gonna steal energy. It's not gonna lower your bill, but it is gonna purify your energy around your house, and you're gonna have clean energy.
you know what I found out?
What?
That the Statue of Liberty is copper, but they oxidized it, made it green.
And why you think they do that? Because you know why? Because they know about that free energy. They harvest our energy, bro. We produce energy ourselves, bro. We're human body. We're copper. Why we're copper? Because we're a machine of energy. Like I said before in these videos, bro, copper. If we're copper ourselves, then we need copper in ourselves. That's why they're taking away our copper, bro. Because once you know that you need copper inside your body, bro, it makes you. That's a deficiency. You need that, bro. Makes you smarter, And they know about that, so they hide it from you, bro.
Hey, so why do you think they made uh the pennies are made out of copper, right? Why do you think they did that? Just because it's cheap?
No, it was because Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, so that's why the pennies are copper because he freed the copper people. And that's why all the coins except the penny is looking the other side because it was the only president that turned their back against the whites.
That's crazy. I never knew that. I never realized that. I never thought of that.
bro. I mean, I I'm Mexican, and I know my history, and I know history, and I could say I know. If I say I know everything, I don't know nothing. So all I'm telling you that just for different races, you have to know your history, and what they're doing to us.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna look into that. I never. It makes sense. So
It's
I want
crazy.
to research it now.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Rambo, crap. Rambo the Don, man. You gotta Rambo the
Rambo the
Don. Told you
Don.
that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I thought they just did that because they were cheap. I didn't know it was like I didn't know it was deep.
Steve, bro, he turned their back. So yeah, the copper is the copper, bro. Copper is a conductor of energy, bro. They use they use it on buildings, bro. Why you think a lot of these buildings got copper on top? Because they know how to clean their energy, and it's just the people up top, the elites. They got these monuments around the world where the roof is copper. Because why? Because they know about harvesting energy, purifying
So,
energy on copper.
so there's copper roofs out there on
Yes, look
buildings.
at look at going to cupolas, towers, harvesting towers, bro. Yes, there's churches. They had copper, bro, because what they were harvesting energy, bro. A lot of the veil like the from the churches, the veils from the churches that were made out of coppers because they produce energy and frequency and energy are the same because frequency is energy and energy is frequency. Yes.
That's
And in
crazy.
1942 and in the wars, they got rid of all the copper bells and all the bells from different like different materials, different resources, different minerals, and from Earth, So they got rid of these bells because they produce frequencies, and these frequencies they destroy demons, which are in like third and fourth dimensions, and like us, But some of these demons can't accept these spells, bro, because they're made out of copper. So some of these uh lizards, or snakes, whatever you want to call them, they got rid of our veils in wars, saying that they needed metal for the war and stuff like that. But in reality, that was just something they put in our heads. But yes, copper is a protector of energy, it conducts energy, and these veils will really knock down these creatures because they were made out of copper, so they stored them. You got to understand, our body's made out of copper, so we're the type of creation of God that if we develop our mind into fastening and you develop your knowledge and these creatures can't touch you because you go into a fifth and sixth dimension realm and they can only stay in a third and fourth dimension realm. And by the way you do that in the copper,
Yeah. So yeah,
fire.
because and copper is a natural antibacterial mineral. So you know what they do? They've been using copper as like door handles. They make the door handles out of copper so it don't get dirty and
Look, bro,
you don't transfer germs.
I'm gonna tell you this, bro. Back then, the pipelines and all the pipes around the world, they were made out of copper because they knew that it destroyed bacteria. But within time, they took away that because they rather put plastic, which absorbs more bacteria and it poisons your body, bro. You know? So yes, plastic. That's why you wear rubber shoes, bro. Back then, shoes were made out of leather animals. And they will have beads with copper, and beads produce energy, bro. You was grounded to earth all the time because they knew if you grounded yourself to earth, you was gonna be healthy, bro.
Hey, so back then, all the kings and all the Indians and Aztecs and all that, did they wear copper? Like they wear copper armor, right?
Yes, bro. The knights
Their
were
armor was
copper.
copper, right?
Okay, bro. I'm gonna tell you something, bro. And this is real deep. And this is look, bro. This is look, bro. This is deep right here, my boy. Deep right here, bro. Bro, on Rambo the Dawn, bro. 333, bro. Watch, bro. Share this and go viral, bro. Go viral and go look, bro. Yes, bro. A lot of these knights, bro, their armor were made out of copper, right? They were made out of copper because back then powder wasn't created yet. They was created by the Chinese, you know. So when before powder, like and with powder you ignite it and you could shoot a projectile. Before that, bro, it was copper armors, bro. And this knights, bro, will carry these swords, but the swords had crystals on it, bro. Crystals are around it. But these swords were really conductors of energy, bro. And in order for that energy not to hit you, you were wearing a metal suit, right? And you was inside. So
Copper
copper.
suit.
Yes, these people really had fights of energy, bro. The knights were fighting with energy, like swords, like Jedi's, bro.
That's
Why
crazy.
is their fucking suits is gonna be made of a whole copper? Is because they were conducting energy and they were protecting themselves from energy, bro. Because
And they
bro,
and they
if
were clean, right?
you
Antibacterial
yeah,
material.
bro, and they were inside this copper suits because, bro, you're not gonna stab them, bro. There's no way you could stab these knights with all these copper, bro, or this metal, bro. You had to use this machine, this electric machine, bro, because the whole suit was made out of copper. And you know what? Copper makes you younger too. It's copper deficiency, bro. That's why we get older fast, bro.
Yeah, like well, potatoes are hybrid, beans are hybrid, but they got copper in them.
Yeah, copper. Yeah, beans do have a lot of copper. That's why we're Mexicans, bro. We eat beans, tacos with beans.
That's why we're dark, right? It might be why we're kind of dark.
Huh?
It might be it might contribute to our color.
Yeah, the copper's in this.
That's crazy.
It's
There's
crazy.
copper in everything.
Yeah, copper, everything, bro. Give
Yeah,
electricity to your
that's
body. Anything
yeah, that's
else you want to talk
crazy,
about, Joey? What's up? I'll tell them anything they want to know. I don't
man.
know
Shit,
nothing because by the time I say I know everything, I don't know nothing.
nah, man. I think we should just wrap it up, man.
Okay.
We got some really good points. We talked about history of copper, the benefits of copper. If y'all like the videos, man, comment, subscribe, man. Rambo the Don, he finna make his YouTube channel soon. We right here on Joey's podcast. But you know, as always, man, I'm gonna see you next time, Rambo.
All right, Joey.
Yeah.